Hello there, I'm Claire, you're watching Stitch and Sew, and today's video is all about my fabric stash. So I'm going to insert a little bit of footage of where I currently store my fabrics and how these looked before I took them down. So I'm just going to do that right now and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've turned the camera around so that you can see my sewing space, and I will do a proper tour of my sewing space when I have tidied up my sewing fabrics. So moving up to where I keep the majority of my sewing fabrics. So there's a couple on the desk, and then moving up here is where I keep my sewing fabrics. And as you can see, it's an absolute jumble. I mean, they're reasonably well, they're okay folded, but they're not folded with any level of regularity. They're not in any form of order of types of fabric or even colour or anything. It's a complete jumble, and quite honestly it makes me feel a bit like ugh. It makes me feel like I haven't got any fabric out there that I don't really that I like at all. In those boxes up the top there, I have also got my Cricut maker, and in this sort of chevron box there's a load of kind of fat quarters and things like that. Under my desk I've got my kind of area of doom, that I call it, that has got loads of scrap fabrics, etc. And I've also got some stored under the bed that are kind of slightly more organized. But yes, this up here is my, what I would call my actual fabric stash. So what I'm going to do is get it all down and I'm going to talk you through it all. See you in a minute. So as you can see, my fabrics are stored on a large shelf, and there's a fair amount here. It's not a massive stash, but I find that I've got to the point where stuff's gone up there and I've kind of forgotten about it. I have forgotten about what I had intended when I bought the fabrics, because generally when I buy a fabric I've got something in mind that I'm going to make with it. I don't often buy a fabric and not have something in mind. I will often change my mind in terms of what I end up sewing with it eventually, but I generally have a project in mind when I'm buying a piece of fabric. Not always, but generally. So there's a reasonable amount of fabric here. I know it's not a big stash in relation to how some people have, and that I cast no aspersions on whether people have a big stash or a little stash, but I am finding the amount of fabric that I've got kind of overwhelming, and it makes me feel a bit guilty that I've spent money on this fabric and I'm not using it. So today's video is all about going through each individual piece of fabric and deciding, do I want it? Do I want to, is it big enough to make a garment from, because there's some kind of remnant pieces there. Do I want to destash, i.e. sell them? Do I want to take them to a fabric swap? Do I just want to get rid of them some other way, charity shop, etc. I don't think there's anything up there that's particularly small, so I have got sort of scrap fabrics. I've got an area of doom, I call it, under my desk that is full of scraps and things, and that's probably for another time to go through. But yeah, I find that I've got to the point where my fabrics aren't in any kind of order. They're not in fabric types, they're not in colour, they doesn't look very nice on the shelf. It doesn't make me think, oh, I want to sew that. So I'm going to have a look through the fabrics that I've got, decide whether I want them, have a think about what I could sew with them, and then I have got a sewing retreat coming up in 2 weeks time, and I want to decide on some makes I'm going to be making from my fabric stash. I have got 2 pieces of fabric that I've ordered recently that haven't yet arrived, but other than that, this is the entirety of my stash, and I don't want to be adding to my stash until I've got some of this sewed up. I'm not putting myself on a fabric ban, because that won't work. All I do is think about fabric. bit like when you say you're going to go on a diet and then all you can think about is food. But yeah, so let's get cracking. So I've got all sorts of different types of fabric here. I've got cottons, I've got viscose, I've got jerseys, I've got more kind of crafting cottons, etc. So let's just get cracking and I will talk you through some of these. Now, this piece of fabric I've made on a recent make. I'm yet to show you guys because it's for a pattern inside a make, and I've probably got about 1/2 meter of this fabric left, and some tails, if you like. I'm not sure. I think this fabric is beautiful, and I'm thinking perhaps of a colour blocked jumper with this, possibly the Drew, which is the, I'm going to say new Tilly and the Buttons pattern. It's not new, but newish Tilly and the Buttons pattern. So I like that one. I think it's really nice. It's a French terry. I love French terry fabrics because they're warmer obviously than a cotton jersey, but not too thick, and great layering piece. Now the next fabrics are kind of crafting fabrics and a piece of waterproof fabric, and I know exactly what I want to make with this waterproof fabric. I want to make a bestie bag with this. I've made 2 bestie bags so far, one for myself and one for my sister for Christmas. It's a fabulous pattern. I make a few tweaks to it, but nothing major, and I would like to make a waterproof bestie bag because I use my bestie bag all the time, but it isn't great in this weather in terms of rain, etc. I'd like a waterproof version. So my idea is to sew it up in this as the main fabric, and then I have got a selection of fabrics that I could use for the inside. I think I'm probably going to go with this one, even though this is a black background and this is navy, but this is such a dark navy. I think I can probably get away with it. I mean, how fabulous is that lining going to be? But I've also got a couple of gorgeous Tula Pink fabrics. These are the same design, different colourway. This one, I have to say, is gorgeous. Love that. I've got this gorgeous fabric, which I bought from Rainbow Fabrics. I've got 1 meter of this, and I have got 1 meter of this fabric as well, also from Rainbow Fabrics. So I'm going to have a kind of stash of crafting fabrics. So up here I've got a box that I kind of keep other smaller cuts of crafting fabrics, and then I've got some other bags under my bed that are kind of offcuts that I use for small projects, etc., and possible patchworky type things that are in my mind whirling around for the future. Now the next piece of fabric, I know exactly what I'm planning to make with this. This is a shirting weight cotton, and the idea is to make something for my dad, a shirt for my dad with this one. So that one is great. I know exactly what I'm going to make with that one. This again is an offcut. It's a it's a French terry fabric, and I made my husband a jumper out of this a couple of years ago. It's kind of a Scandinavian print, kind of has a Christmassy nod, but not ridiculously Christmassy. So my husband does wear it at other times of year, and yeah, I've got an offcut here. I could easily make something for my younger son from this, but I think I've shown it to him before. He is not overly keen. I think it's gorgeous, but don't know whether I'm necessarily into his and hers. So I might take this to the sewing retreat and see if anybody wants to make a kind of colour blocked item out of that one. This is again a piece of crafting cotton. I've used bits of this before, and actually thinking about it, it's not a crafting, it's just a cotton poplin. I think I got this off where did I get this from? I got this from a swaps table at a sewing social, and I think the lovely Claire, who is Sewing Bear Clare on YouTube and Insta, bought this in, and I have made an item from this. What did I make? I made the Sew Over It jumpsuit, and I can't remember the name of the pattern. I'll pop a picture in here if I remember. And I've just got some offcut, so I'm now using it as kind of a crafting cotton. But there we go. I have got this fab. I've got a metre of this cotton canvas fabric. This is either going to be for bag making, or I might make some new tea towels out of this one. So that's, again, an easy fabric. I have got this gorgeous viscose fabric. I've already made an item out of this. Again, it was a Sew Over It pattern. It was the Hetty dress, which I'm actually yet to wear, but I've got some of this fabric left, and I'm not sure what I'm going to make with that one. Yeah, I might look to destash that in some way, shape or form, so I haven't quite decided on what way. If any of these fabrics do interest you that I'm saying that I'm going to destash, do get in touch with me and we can come to some sort of agreement. Posting outside of the UK, I'm sorry, is probably going to be a bit of a pain, so I am going to say kind of limiting to UK only, but yeah, do let me know, and I'm sure we can kind of come to some arrangement in relation to postage, but it's probably not worth me posting around the world, because your postage costs would be far more than the actual what the fabric's worth, and we can just, you know, we can come to some sort of agreement about cost of fabric, etc. This again is a piece of crafting cotton, so that will come in handy. So I'm going to have a little stash, and I'm putting those there. Now this next fabric is a model jersey, I want to say. I think I've got 3 meters of this. It's a black model jersey I bought from Rainbow Fabrics on one of their kind of 40% or 50%, I think it was 40% off some time ago now. Well, not masses of time, but several months ago now. Haven't used it, and I did buy this without with not much intention of what I was going to buy, so that is not great on my part. It's really nice quality. I definitely want to make something with it, but I don't know what to make. I know Rowan, who is a Yorkshire sew girl, made a gorgeous jumpsuit. I think it's called the Rydell jumpsuit. Is it by Izozo Studio? And that was gorgeous, but I've never really made a jumpsuit before. And, well, I've made one jumpsuit. That's not true. I have made a jumpsuit. I'm just not sure. I really like some ideas on this. This is gorgeous. I don't want to destash it. Does black do anything for me? I don't know. Let me know. I don't think I want to destash it at this point. But again, I don't know what I want to make with that one. So it was a bit naughty buy for me because I didn't have an intention. This one is essentially like a viscose jersey. I bought this from Fabricland in the summer, late summer, and with the idea of making a Westcliff dress with this. I've got quite a lot of it actually, at least 3 meters. I might have even bought 4 meters, so I've got loads of it. I should probably just make a Westcliff or equivalent dress with that. So yeah, that's a possibility for the sewing retreat, although I'm unlikely to wear a maxi dress at this time of year. I tend to wear a maxi dress in the summer. This is a very soft black and white. I'm just checking then that it was black and white and not navy and white. Black and white, spotty, you know, a regular spot jersey fabric. I bought this a really long time ago. This has been in my stash. It might be like 3 years, something along those lines. It's buttery soft, super soft, and I think the reason I haven't sewn it up is that it isn't a cotton fabric and I'm worried about it making me sweat. But I have made a couple of the Tilly and the Buttons Lotta dresses, I made this one, and I made one out of like a modal jersey with like tealy based chalk fabric, and that's got kind of like flowery print all over it. And I have lived on those two dresses basically on rotation, not quite, but near enough. So actually I think that is a definite make. I'm going to make a Tilly the Buttons Lotta in this one that I can wear during the winter. I'm going to do it short sleeves because I find that I can just layer up a cardigan, and actually quite a lot of the time I run quite hot, and yeah, I think that would be really gorgeous. Team it up with black tights, etc, etc, or leggings that look like tights. Perfect. The next fabric, in fact the next two fabrics, I bought with intention, and you can see these ones are on this is what I use. They are comic book board, but they're like the divider thing, so they're made out of like a sort of a plastic that's got, it's not particularly rigid, but it's not really bendy either. So essentially comic book card stuff, which obviously I just reuse and reuse. I never write on the little label things, and I don't know, I bought a pack of 30 or something, or 20 or something. Now I have got some fairly inexpensive, what's this fabric called? It's not scuba. Ponte fabric, and I've got a navy and I've got a black, and the idea with that is to try out a pattern that the lovely Cara from So So Mad always talks about, and the lovely Sarah from So Sarah Style talks about. It's a jumper, not a jumper, it's some trouser pattern from the Wendy Ward book, and the name of the pattern has completely gone out of my mind. And those two love those trousers. They talk about them all the time, and when we were on the last sewing retreat, this time pretty much last year, it was sort of pretty much a year ago, they were talking about these trousers so much that I bought the book, ordered the book whilst I was on the retreat, and so it arrived pretty much after I got back. And the idea was to make some of those trousers. Have I made them? No. Should I make them? Yes. Should I take them on the sewing retreat? Yes. So my plan is to trace the pattern out. And that's probably why I haven't done it, because I hate tracing patterns. I'm really lazy. I can't just cut into it because it's a layered pattern, you know, patterns in a book that are all layered on top of each other. And so I have to do it. I've even bought proper tracing paper to do it. Have I done it? No. Because am I rubbish? Yes. But those are the plans for those. So next lot of fabrics. I have got another sort of this is a kind of velour, velvet kind of feel fabric. It's not a dressmaking fabric, I wouldn't say. It's like a crafting fabric. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I think I have made something from it at some point, but that will just go in my crafting fabric pile. This I made, this is a remnant, and I think it's quite small. I don't really know why I've still got it. I made a peppermint Paddington top out of this, which I love. I love it. I love this fabric. I think it's beautiful. There's not a huge amount here, but there's probably enough for somebody to make like an Ogden cami or something, which isn't a pattern that I would make particularly because I don't do strappy tops. But I think somebody at my sewing social, my retreat that I'm going to, might like that. So I'm going to take that there. Next, I have just got a piece of, oh, I thought this was just a piece of white fabric, i.e. like a, but no, it's a piece of white jersey. It is, what, half a metre? I reckon I must have got this in a bundle at some point. It's a white piece of white jersey fabric. Yeah, I'm going to keep that. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but at some point that might come in handy for a colour blocking or something. And then I have got two pieces of lining fabric, which again I think I got like in a bundle when I very first started. I took one look at them and thought they're horrible, what would I ever use them for, but have since found, obviously as your knowledge of fabrics grows, that they were probably always intended for lining fabrics. So I think that's probably quite a useful thing to have. I haven't ever used them yet, but one day you never know. I made my two boys their Christmas jumpers out of this fabric. I've got a remnant piece left. Sorry, I'm showing you the wrong side. That's really not helpful. So it's just this fun reindeer fabric. It's a really small section of reindeer fabric. I genuinely don't know what I do with it now. It's probably not big enough to make anything for all my boys now in terms of an actual whole garment. They've already got a garment out of it. I don't think I want that piece of fabric. It needs to de-stash in some way. This is a piece of ribbing fabric. Actually, I keep my ribbing fabrics under the bed in like a zip folder, so that needs to go with them. So that will be useful at some point. This is a piece of cotton jersey fabric. It is Christmassy themed, so that will go in my kind of Christmas fabrics. Well, kind of a pile for next Christmas. I picked this up from a de-stash from, I think it was Becky from What Beck Sews, and I didn't get round to sewing it, but I will do, but not at this point. I've got a little flurry now of kind of Christmassy fabrics. I've got this cotton jersey fabric, which again I picked up from a de-stash, and I didn't get round to sewing it up this Christmas, but I fully intend to make some pajamas for one of my sons. I made a Christmas jumper for my husband out of this fabric, and let's have a look. I think I've got 1/2 metre plus tails. I think that this one I might keep because I really like this fabric, and although I don't necessarily want his and hers jumpers, and there isn't enough for me to make a whole jumper, I could make a kind of colour blocked Christmas jumper, possibly even for myself on that one. I reckon if I could get some red French terry or some black or grey even. I saw a jumper that lovely Tamlin from Sewn on the Tyne and Rachel from the French Seams may have made, and it's got like a really nice like V detail across here that goes across the sleeves as well, and I think that would look fab. So yeah, that's great. And then I made myself a jumper out of this one, and I've literally got like hardly anything of this one left. What do people do with jersey scraps like this? I've got loads under my table. I don't know what to do with them. Please tell me what to do with this. So I've got this small section here, but you could probably possibly get like a small baby's jumper out of this, and then I've got like these off weird bits here. What do I do with it? Tell me what to do with this. I've got some more ribbon fabrics. I've got a red and black. Again, that needs to go under the bed. I have got this lovely tealy fabric. The lovely Annette at one of the sewing socials gave this to me. I had in my mind that I was going to make a dress for Christmas out of it, but my Christmas sewing overtook and I never got around to making it up for myself. It's kind of a stretchy fabric. It's plissé-ish, I would suggest. I don't really know its content, but I do have in mind to make a dress out of that one, so that's my plan for that. I have got this piece of fabric. I think this is called Cozy Colours. It's in this kind of oatmeal-y kind of colour, and I got this again in a kind of a pack, and I've never made anything up with it. I think it's really nice. I really like it. but I haven't ever made anything with it. A colour block jumper would be really nice. It's not massively heavyweight. It's got a nice back to it, but you could combine it with a French terry. Thinking quickly, would this and this work together? This has got kind of more grey tones in it, and these have got kind of flecks of red and stuff that is not in it, but it does have flecks of blue which are in this, and there are flecks of yellow which it picks up in there. Maybe people, what do we think? Let me know. See, this is why I need to do this. This I picked up at a sewing swap. It is a piece of green cotton fabric with this kind of stamped design on it, and it is a border print. It's got this lovely border on it. Now I've washed this, so I've obviously had good intentions. I know I've washed it because I've overlocked it. That means I've definitely have washed it. I think this would make a really nice dress, but I don't know whether I've got enough. So the border is on the long edge of the fabric. So it would have come off the bolt. The bolt would run like that, if you like, and it runs along the one edge of it. So I'd be cutting on the cross grain, but I don't think that would be too much of an issue. But I'm just not sure about the colour on me. I think it's the wrong green. So my kind of favourite greeny colour is more, well, this is more of a blue, but let's say, maybe, no, I like it, not so sure. So I'm really grateful to whoever put this on the swaps table, but I think I'm going to pass it on to a swaps table because I don't think this is me, but it's beautiful, and I thank you very much. And I'm sorry I've taken a piece of fabric that I'm not going to use, but I will pass it on a swaps table so somebody will make something that is beautiful and gorgeous with it. Oh my goodness, there is so much mess down here. This is a piece of cotton jersey. Again, I've picked this up on a swaps table, and it's a fairly thin t-shirting cotton jersey fabric, and my intention was to always make something for the boys from this. This colour's gorgeous, isn't it? I love this. This is, I don't know whether it's coming up as the right colour. I think it's coming up a bit brighter on camera. It's more of a cornflower blue. I think I probably am going to make something for the boys from that, and then maybe use like my cricket to do like a little design on the front, like an Xbox, maybe if I can find one design. I think so, maybe some pajamas like would be nice out of this actually. Yes, that's what I'm going to do with that piece of fabric. I think that'd be really nice for that. The next piece of fabric, I think I bought this at a show. It's a John Caldor fabric. It's a jersey fabric with a reasonable amount of stretch, but not masses and masses. It's definitely got polyester in. It's not the sort of fabric that I would really sew with. I think it's one of those buys that I'm not convinced about now that I've got it, now that I've had it a while, and I think that this might be one that I pass on and de-stash to somebody else because it's pretty, but that is a big floral for me, and I'm not sure it's what I want anymore. Right, some of these fabrics are really dusty. That's the problem with storing them where I do and as I do. Now, this fabric is a viscose twill fabric in a navy colour. I think it's in 2 cuts. It looks like I've already washed it, which is fabulous. My idea for these was some Jennifer Lauren Bastion culottes. I made a navy blue pair of the Jennifer Lauren Bastion culottes as like a wearable toile pair back some time ago, 2-ish years ago, possibly even more than that now, maybe even 3, that I did a collaboration with, oh my goodness, who did I do the collaboration with? Crystal from, oh, and her channel name's gone out my mind. Talk about terrible brain. Oh, I used to do a sewing challenge with her. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Crystal. Why can I not think what your title of your channel is called? My social thread. Whoo! I'm so sorry. Right. Anyway, I made these Bastion culottes and I made a navy pair out of some polycotton as my kind of wearable toile for the pattern, which is very unlike me to do a toile, but I did. And actually I've worn the wearable toile more than I've used the actual make, and I really like them, and they're great in the summer because they're kind of shorts but a skirt at the same time. I really like them, and I bought this fabric with the intention of making a new pair, and that's what I should do. I should just crack on and make them, because why not? Why, I should make them. The next fabric, I don't know what to do with. So I bought this denim fabric, it's quite a rigid denim, and then when I washed it, it got these horrible white lines all over it. Now I have made something out of it. I made a bag out of it, and I managed to cut round, because I wasn't making a big bag. I managed to cut round and not show these horrible white lines. I don't know what to do with this fabric. Anybody know how to get those horrible white lines out of the fabric? Please do let me know. I don't know what to do with this piece of fabric because of it. I don't feel like I can pass it on because of it. I don't know what to do with it. The next fabric is I think it's a double gauze. Maybe it's a gauze fabric of some kind. I don't know whether it's actually double gauze. I think it might just be a single gauze. I don't really know. It's a leopard. It's an animal print. It's not leopard necessarily. Animal print-esque. It's not fully animal print looking at it. Anyway, fabric. It's on a blackish background with these sort of splodgy bits all over. I bought this as a remnant piece. Thought it was a great idea. I think I thought I'd make some sort of Stevie or something from it, but actually I found that the Stevie doesn't have any darts, so it just kind of hangs off me. Don't really like it. I'm just thinking, if I could get a Stevie dress out of it and then kind of put like an elasticated bit in it, that could work. But I think I just wouldn't like it as much as I do like a Lotta, because I think I prefer a fuller skirt, and that's why I like the Lotta, because it gives me the kind of the fit and flare. Again, I think this one might be a D-stash. I think there's 1.8 if I remember right. I don't think it's quite 2 meters of this fabric, and it's not, obviously this is doubled up. It's not narrow, but it's not mega wide either. Yeah, I think that one is on its way out my door. Oh, I'm being so cutthroat. This is a piece of viscose fabric. It's kind of a linen look fabric. I think I bought this, oh look, this is when before I realised that you should always overlock your edges before you put it in the washing machine. Look at the state of that. Dreadful. After that I was like, oh my goodness, that's why you put your stuff in the washing machine, that you overlock before you put it in the washing machine. It's awful. before I put this back in my stash, I'm going to overlock those edges. Dreadful. Anyway, this colour's gorgeous, isn't it? I love it. Absolutely love it. I think I've only got 2 meters, which is a really weird amount for me to buy because I don't normally buy in 2 meter cuts. I obviously did have a plan for this, which is why I only bought 2 meters. I cannot remember what it was. This would make, now it's got kind of a sheerness to it. No, not ridiculous, but I think, I'm not convinced I'd want to make trousers out of it. But I mean, it is gorgeous, isn't it? It's a gorgeous colour. So I should really think about something that I can make with that. But I don't think, I don't know. I don't know what to make with it. Tell me what to make with it, people. A viscose fabric that linen, kind of a linen-y look to it. 2 meters. Go, people. Tell me what to make. This is a remnant piece of fabric. I made something out of this. I made the high cuff sweater, which is not really a sweater, top, out of this. Can't remember who that's by. And this is a remnant piece. Again, under 1 meter with a tail. I'm just going to take that to my sewing social and see whether anybody wants it, or again, if anybody does want it. This is a piece of crafting cotton I used to make some teacher gifts because it's kind of school themed. This is a piece of red jersey fabric. Again, must have got this in a bundle at some point. It looks like I've got roughly 1 meter of that. Again, that could be quite useful at some point. Hood linings, something for the boys. Should keep hold of that, but I had completely forgotten it was there. Now I've got some Lady McElroy, 2 lots of Lady McElroy fabrics. This is a cotton lawn. It's got elephants and other things on, frogs, and there's something hiding if I remember right. Anyway, really nice fabric. I made a bag out of this. Oh, like a quilted bag. I don't know what to do with it. I've probably got 3 meters. Some sort of dress. Not sure what to make. This again is a Lady McElroy fabric. It's quite colourful, but still kind of muted at the same time. I mean, that's a ridiculous thing to say. Again, I think I've got 3 meters. Cotton lawn fabric, some sort of dress. Need to think about what to make. I made the hinterland dress, actually. That was really nice. I'd quite like to have another go at that. I need to lengthen the body. I didn't lengthen the body, which is stupid of me because I always lengthen body pieces because I'm quite tall, 5'8", and I generally find, you know, I've got a chest, I need to lengthen things, and I didn't on that. And it kind of, as much as I quite like a skirt that's kind of not quite empire line, but between, I like the skirt to start at my smallest part, which is under my bust, but I don't want it to be like completely empire line, like literally come out from under the bust. So yeah, I need to lengthen that. So maybe that's a project to take with me. Actually, I quite like it. I quite like the idea of it in this one. I think that would be quite nice. Yeah, I think that'd be quite nice. This is a piece of gorgeous fabric. I think I've just got 1 meter of this. It's a poppy fabric, which is probably why I like it so much. I always find the fabrics from poppy really nice. Nice quality. Feels gorgeous, actually. I've got 1 meter of this. It's a cotton fabric. I'm probably unlikely to make a garment out of it, but I think that I certainly could make something out of it crafty wise. So I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to go into my cotton fabric stash, which is forming over here. This is a piece of fabric that I bought from a charity shop. It was a massive piece of fabric. I've already made one garment out of it. It's not really my colours. It's definitely going to be go on my to stash. This is a piece of crafting cotton in a greeny teal colour. That's going to go on the crafting part. Aha! Now I have got a piece of corduroy fabric in quite a bright blue. And my idea behind this was to make a skirt. And it is is it Jennifer Lauren? Oh, I can't remember the name of the skirt. I'm going to put it up on the screen. I can't remember the name of it. I've made two already. It could do with a proper iron. It's really quite crumpled. Hopefully those sort of quite hard lines will come out of it. Yeah, I think that would be nice as one of those skirts. And it's really bugging me that I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen because you don't need to hear me deliberate. This is a piece of black fabric with the idea of making some work trousers out of it. I think I bought this 2-3 years ago. It's a nice weight piece of fabric. It would make a lovely pair of black trousers for work. Have I made them? No. Why haven't I made them? Because trousers scare me. I'm ridiculous. I didn't pay a huge amount of money for this fabric. I should just try a pair of trousers. I should just do it and stop being so scared of it. Yes, I will have to make adjustments. Yes, they will not be perfect, but I should just try and do it. Get on with it. It's not one for the sewing weekender, although it would be a good idea to take them, wouldn't it? Because there'd be people there that could help me to make adjustments that I need to make. But again, trousers scare me. Stop it, Claire. Just stop it. Okay. This is a wild piece of fabric. Animal print, cotton jersey fabric. I bought this in a shop that was closing down, and I think I've got 3 meters of this fabric. I don't think I'm going to make anything out of this for me, but I think I'm going to make some pajamas for my husband at some point. It is his birthday in June. I think I should make those up for him for June. All I need to do is to buy some black ribbon fabric if I haven't got enough, and that would be perfect. This is a sweatshirting fabric. It's a remnant piece. It's all over the shop, but I've definitely got, have I got 1/2 meter? Pretty much 1/2 meter. Somebody could make use of this. I could definitely make stuff for my boys, but their school uniform jumper is this colour, and I don't think they're going to want anything in this colour because of that. I can't remember what I made from it before. I think I made a jumper for somebody else. It's really nice quality actually, because I did make a pair of jogging bottoms for my younger son, which I have since cut in shorts because they were too small, and he's worn the shorts far more than he ever wore the jogging bottoms, and they wash really well. So yeah, it's really nice quality jersey sweatshirting fabric, but I don't need it. I should just get rid of it. Okay, I'm nearly there, folks. I'm nearly there. Thank you if you've held on this long. Okay, this is another piece of cord fabric. This is a needle, very fine needle cord fabric. It's in a gorgeous teal colour. I'd originally thought I was going to make another one of those skirts of the one that I cannot remember the name of it. But it is very thin. I could line it, but I think what I'm going to do is to make a bestie bag out of it. I mean, how gorgeous would that be is as a bestie bag? So I'm definitely going to take one bestie bag away with me when I go on my sewing retreat. I might take a second. I haven't quite decided. Oh god, it's just gorgeous. This is a piece of black fabric. I bought this from C&H Fabrics in Winchester when C&H Fabrics was a big department-y, you know, kind of, I say big, a little bit of a department store. They've since closed down. They've got a curtain making section, I think, still in Winchester in a much smaller store, but it is not, they don't sell fabrics that you can just buy, dressmaking fabrics anymore. This is a black broderie on glaze. Is that what you call it? Broderie on glaze fabric. It's very sweet. I haven't washed it because it's still got the tag on. 65% poly, 35% cotton. I have to say it feels nice for the fact that it's got poly in. 1.6 meters. And it's really quite nice, but I've had it for such a long time and I haven't used it, so I think I'm just going to pass that on as a de-stash item. Yeah, this is some Pikachu fabric. Funnily enough, I didn't buy this for me. I bought this for my boys. It's a Robert Kaufman fabric. I think I intended to buy more of this fabric to make pajama bottoms for both of my boys, but I think I must have hit the button wrong when it, well, I definitely did because I rechecked the order. So it's quite narrow, and so it's not enough to make stuff for both boys. So probably what I will do is I will make something for my younger son in it, and then with the remnants I will make something kind of more of a crafty item for my older son so he doesn't feel left out. He loves like sleep masks, so I'll probably make one of those for him. And maybe some sort of, I don't know, pouch or something, I don't know, something that he can use. I don't think he'd necessarily use this as a pencil case, not to take for school, but we could probably use it at home for something. We're nearly there, folks. We're nearly there. So I've got one more piece of crafting fabric that they all need to go together, as I keep saying. This is a piece of fabric that the lovely Adam from Adam Sews gave me. It's really lovely. It's a cotton lawn fabric. I reckon there is 2 meters there, and yeah, it's gorgeous. I don't know whether this has got a direction on or not. Yeah, I think it goes that way. No, for you it goes that way. I'm looking at the wrong side. And yeah, it's a lovely piece of fabric. And I'm not sure about the colours on me, if I'm totally honest, but I think it's beautiful, and I think that I'm going to make my husband a shirt out of that for his birthday. So he'll get some pajamas and he'll get a shirt. It's a big birthday for him, so he does deserve some items. I've got this piece of fabric, which is a double gauze piece of fabric. It's gorgeous white double gauze with these beautiful flowers on it, or leaf design on it. Again, I picked this up from a de-stash from which the lovely Clare, who is sewing bear, Clare, I think that's the way around her handle is, bought in. It is gorgeous. It's butter. It's really soft. It's really gorgeous, and I totally want to make PJs out of it, but it's definitely a summer PJs make. So I am going to put this one to one side, but it's definitely there to make some summer PJs with. And the very last piece of fabric, which you're very pleased to hear about because this video is long, I apologise, is a 1 meter piece of this William Morris viscose fabric, which I want to make some sort of top out of. Now, I made the Scout tee once before, which I liked, but it definitely needed some adjustments making to it. I found that it was a bit tight around the arms, which is something I normally experience on patterns, and there was something else that I didn't. I think the bust darts needed moving, but I think that would be really sweet as a top, like a woven tee, and it will be really nice in that fabric. So maybe I'll take that one to the sewing retreat as well. So I've done it, folks. Those are all of my fabrics. So it is an absolute mess, both sides of me. And I need to now put together the fabrics that I'm going to destash. I want to fold up all very nicely my fabrics, and I will put a picture in a minute of how it looks up on the shelf when it's all neat and tidy. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for keeping me company. And let me know if there's any fabrics where you think you must make that. If there's any fabrics that caught your eye that you would like to talk to me about and that you would like to take into your lives. Yeah, just thank you. I really appreciate everybody that watches my videos. I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, take care. Happy sewing. Bye bye.